Hey friends, and welcome back to the Reddit Rainbow. Y'all ready for another spooky story? Well, grab your vibes and your delights, and let's jump into a story called My Son Won't Stop Crying About the Monster Under His Bed. I've tried everything. I bought him a nightlight, I leave his bedroom door cracked, and a light on in the hallway. When I tuck him in, I make sure to check under the bed. I played up big. Nope, there are no monsters down here. And still, I can hear him whimpering all night. I'm at my wits' end. I can't get a wink of sleep. I've decided that I have to be blunt with him. I have to get out of bed and go to his room. When I enter the doorway, he quickly quiets his crying. We've got to have a talk, son. I walk in and take a seat on the edge of his bed. You need to stop with this monster business. I'm scared, he manages to get out. I understand. But there's nothing to be scared of. Monsters aren't real. They don't exist. There is no monster under your bed. I can only check under there so many times to prove it. You haven't been watching scary movies without my permission, have you? He shakes his head no. Good. Now I need you to be a brave boy, okay? We both need a good night's sleep. Dry your tears. It's time for bed. For real this time. Do you need a glass of water or anything? Will anything help you get some sleep? He wipes his swollen red eyes. I know what, he says. Maybe you could let me see my mommy and daddy. I'm your dad now. Never say that again. I kiss his forehead, make sure the chain around his ankle is secure, and tuck him in. No more crying, okay? Sweet dreams. Bro, what? What the fuck did I just read? I'm not okay. I'm not okay. Bro, some of these stories be mad scary, yo. Some of these stories be mad scary. I'm scared. Nah, man, because the way I thought that the dad was gonna be a monster. Why have I been so wrong all these times? Like, I thought the dad was gonna be the monster, but it turns out that he's just a kidnapper. And then, like, the girl, and she was a vampire, but I thought it was gonna be Croc in Gotham City. Like, we keep getting these plot twists I'm not expecting. I'm so happy. I'm having a good time. I encourage everybody to visit this subreddit. It is so good. Just like short and sweet, and it's amazing. Hey friends, and welcome back to the Reddit Rainbow. Y'all ready for a spooky story? I'm so excited to read these to you. And man, y'all should go show this subreddit some love. Oh my gosh, I'm having a great time in here. I'm equally horrified and excited. So grab your vibes and delights, and let's jump into the spooky story called My Town is Enforcing a Curfew That Is Way Too Strict. Today, our mayor issued a curfew for all residents of my town. No person can leave their house after 4 p.m. This curfew will have 0 exceptions. I think it's an overreaction. But the local news has got everybody worked up. Dead bodies keep showing up in unusual places all over town, but according to the police, they're all being listed as accidents. Still, the mayor doesn't want to take any chances. Being inside every day isn't all bad. It's given me lots of time to play Fortnite. I play duos with my buddy, Annihilator, and lately we've been killing it. We started messaging, and would you believe we live in the same town? I asked what school they went to, but they said they were homeschooled. Annihilator said that we should meet up and hang out, and I said, no way. Because of the curfew, dum-dum, do you watch the news? You a scaredy cat? Just sneak out after your mom goes to bed. I know you shouldn't meet internet strangers. I was probably talking to some creepy old man. I'm not an idiot, just lonely. Ever since the curfew, my social life has been non-existent. Besides, what 13-year-old could resist the chance to sneak out of the house? I waited until my mom was asleep and I pulled the screen out of my window. I left my window open just a crack so I could get back in later. I walked to the park where a Nile gator said we were supposed to meet. I made sure to stay hidden. If there was an old man waiting for me, I was going to hit the bricks, but to my surprise, there wasn't. It was a cute girl instead. Sitting on a bench near the playground was a beautiful girl. She couldn't have been much older than me. I couldn't believe it. Did I have a gamer girlfriend? Sir, stop. A Nile gator? I asked quietly, almost whispering. Hello. Her voice was even pretty. You must be Turd Wrangler. Why? It's an old username. Actually, it's my brother's username. Sure, Jan. Yeah, I could have picked a much cooler username. Annihilator laughed, but our meeting was cut short by a man wearing all black walking through the park with a flashlight. He started shouting at us when we saw him. Shit, I said, grabbing Annihilator's hand. Let's beat it. I live nearby. We ran, but the strange man followed quickly after us. I didn't want to think about what would happen if he caught us. I made it back to my house and flung my window open. The guy was right on our tail. I hopped through and breathed a sigh of relief. We made it, I said. But Annihilator was standing outside the window, frozen in place. She wasn't coming in. I could see the crazy guy's flashlight now. Another second and he would catch us. You have to invite me in before I can enter, Annihilator said. Bro, what? Use a vampire Annihilator? No! And also, now they know where you live. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. All right, guys, that's it for that story. Oh my gosh. Hey, friends, and welcome back to the Reddit Rainbow. Y'all ready for another scary story? Y'all, grab your vibes and your delights, and let's jump into this spooky story called Something Terrible Happened with My Sister's Baby. Mild trigger warning, okay? It's baby related, okay? My sister and her husband were attending a friend's wedding in the city and asked me to watch their 7-month-old baby, Sebastian, at their house for the evening. Their house was old, and I was convinced that the place was infested. Soon after arriving in the bathroom, I saw a type of bug that I had never seen before. It had a long black body with red stripes. Soon after I saw it, the thing disappeared behind the sink. My sister left instructions, which I followed. I put Sebastian to bed. He was very calm for a baby. I noticed he was growing hair on his head already, red like his mother's. I sat on the couch with the baby monitor nearby and watched TV. It wasn't long before I dozed off. Nick. I woke up to the sound of my name. I looked around, but nobody was there. I checked on the baby. He was fast asleep. I must have dreamed it, but the voice was so clear. My mother, rest in peace, had gone through a phase where she heard voices in her head. I hoped it wasn't happening to me. I was eventually able to calm down and fall asleep, but my dream, it felt so real. I was at a medieval king's feast. There was so much food laid out, and all I did was eat. I felt infinite hunger as I stuffed my face, scarfing down sliced beef, tearing the meat from a turkey leg, even crunching on the cartilage. Nick, I shot awake again. Who's there? I yelled. You have such a lovely mind, Nick, the voice whispered. I looked around in panic. Still, nobody was around. I felt strangely bloated. The voice continued. I think we're going to live happily together. Something was off. I needed to check the baby. Don't bother, the voice insisted. You won't like what you find. I ignored it. When I got to the baby's room, the crib was empty, and I felt a heavy sensation in the pit of my stomach. That's when I realized that there was hair on my tongue. I pulled it off and held it up to the light. It was a strand of red hair. Oh, dear Glob. He was delicious, the voice said. We enjoyed biting into him and crunching on his bones. What have I done? You have helped us feed, the voice went on. We've been wanting to feast on the child for months, but we are a mere insect, much too small for such a large meal. I fell to the floor, gagging, sobbing at the same time. Your brain is wonderful. The other brains were not as easily controlled as yours. As we crawled over your pleasure receptors, we were able to enjoy eating the child as much as if we had done it ourselves. Thank you, Nick. We might have never found a suitable host were it not for you. That's the end of the story. That shit crazy, bro. Y'all, why did I imagine the like bug as like that dragon from, have you ever seen the Dragons of Erebos or whatever the fuck it is? It's like on Netflix. You know what I'm talking about? I'm sure I'll get it right and I'll put it on the screen. But like it was like the super duper bad guy was like a bug in the ear of like the archmage or some shit. It was crazy anyway, and he had a really silky voice, and I was trying to channel that. So if I did a bad job, I'm really sorry. Hey friends, and welcome back to the Reddit Rainbow. We're back with another spooky story. So grab your vibes and your delights, and let's jump into this story called Places Like These Are Abandoned for a Reason. I had left San Francisco for the town of Bass Lake up in the mountains. I had been there before, but never by way of the route my phone told me to take. I ended up in the foothills when the urge struck. It was either find a bathroom along the desolate stretch of road or run off into the weeds. I finally came to something that looked like it used to be a gas station. I pulled up, grabbed some fast food napkins out of the glove box, and walked into the smoky autumn air of Central California. All the oak trees had been ravaged by fire some time ago. Gnarled and girthy sticks of charcoal amongst waving weeds of golden brown. The solitary gas pump was rusted over, and the windows of the station had been broken long ago. It was an apocalyptic scene, to be sure. Around the side of the building, I found an open door to the bathroom. When I opened the door, the moldy smell was overpowering. The walls were covered in graffiti, and orange fungus was making a slow creep down the walls from a downward bulging ceiling, threatening to collapse at any moment. Man, I would have shit outside. There ain't nobody around, right? Bro, hell nah, I'm scared. Oh my God, I would not go in there. Half the sink was broken on the floor, and the mirror that hung over it was brown around the edges and giving off a distorted reflection of the scummy toilet against the opposite wall. The fetid swill in the bottom of the bowl had an oily sheen over the top of it. I'm sorry. I would not be in this damn I would not be in this bathroom, child. I swore that I saw the thick liquid moving inside slightly, but I convinced myself that it was just my imagination. Everything went dark as I closed the door behind me. No, no. Okay. So I turned the light on my phone and went to business. I tried not to look at the clown house version of myself in the mirror while I strained and hovered. Instead, I turned the light to the walls and started reading the graffiti. Besides the usual profanities, I noticed something unsettling. Several warnings not to look in the mirror. Ooh. The largest message on the wall was written directly over the mirror. Places like this are abandoned for a reason. They said the name of the movie. My stomach nodded when I heard guttural, unintelligible whispers, and I realized that my reflection was no longer in the mirror. I didn't even clean myself before I pulled my pants up. I wanted out. Ooh, child, you said no, we're in. Something in the shadows pushed my shoulders from behind, and I pitched forward. My face crashed against the mirror, and I felt pressure from behind as if someone was grinding my face against a reflective surface that was not displaying what was happening in front of it. Everything went dark. When I came to, I was in darkness, save for a small square of ghastly light in front of me. I was staring through the other side of the mirror. Another version of myself waved at me and then walked out of the bathroom, leaving me inside this prison. Where am I? All my life. This is the origin story of football. If you didn't know, I really love Adventure Time, okay? My username is Friend the Human, okay? But there's a character named Bimo that everybody knows and loves. It's like a genderless robot. Bimo has a twin named Football who lives in a mirror, okay? And sometimes they switch places and it's almost always a bad time for Bimo, okay? I shouldn't say sometimes. They switched places one time and Football did not want to give Bimo the reins back. And also Bimo's probably low-key really, really crazy. But anyway. Hey friends, and welcome back to the Reddit Rainbow. Y'all ready for another spooky story? Well, grab your vibes and your delights and let's jump into this story. I'm just trying something new, okay? A prize-winning chicken. Okay. Having chickens was a hobby, but one I took seriously. I put on my rubber boots and carry a mug of coffee with me out to the coop for morning feed. After I'm past the chicken wire, I poke my head in and notice something off. How'd a blue hen get mixed up in my coop? I ask an odd-looking chicken. It must be a prank. I bragged about my flock the other day, and this is something Bert would do. The chickens turned to look at me. It's downright bizarre. I'd seen enough chickens to know how they move, how they act. While the others circle my boots eating, this one is stock still, staring, calculating with bright, intelligent eyes. It opens its beak slowly and far too wide, revealing several rows of miniature human teeth. Ah, hell nah, child, I would have left. Beak and head curl around a protruding maw that says with a familiar voice, I require additional mass. Feathers are difficult to metamorphose. Please provide skin. What is this, like feed me Seymour? Give me your skin. Special leather. Anyway, I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry. What in the hell is going on? I dump my coffee on it. That's some weird shit to say to someone. Also, why the fuck would you do that to a random animal you don't know anything about? That's fucked up. That's crazier than the dude challenging the moose in the forest the other day, okay? That moose showed him the whites of his eyes and was sharpening his antlers on and he said, back up. And that moose said, watch me. And like, that moose said, hold my beer, bro. Like, why would you dump coffee on this? Bro, and it just talked to you, bro. I'm sorry, guys, I'm sorry. Shockingly, its mouth blisters, then slowly heals. Your aggression is noted. Its teeth sharpen. I'll hollow you out to take what I need. I bolt. Honey, you should have bolted when instead of pork. I can't even talk. I'm so scared. You should have bolted instead of throwing your coffee on it, you fucking weirdo. I don't know what's happening, but I'll pew pew at it a few times and figure it out. I trip as I hit the chicken wire and something instantly clamps on my foot. Needle-like teeth pierce right through my boots. My heart thumps rapidly. Sweat breaks out. I roll around and get up. Its teeth are still stuck in the rubber. I slip my foot out, scratching it up in the process, and I pick up the boot the chicken is still chomping on and chuck it, okay? My jaw drops as the chicken slowly flaps and spreads out its massive wings. The boot drops as it circles back toward me. I try running. I'm limping, but luckily I don't have far to go. I fling the door open and slam it behind me. A heartbeat later, the window next to me explodes inward. I see a blue-tinted, tiny version of my head on top of the chicken. It smiles with razor-sharp teeth. What? Wait, what kind of creature is that? Hold up. I've seen My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, okay? Is this a cockatrice? I dash down the hall towards my bigger pew pew, and I hear it crash and stumble behind me. I fling the hall closet, toss the pillows carelessly, and snatch up my pew pew. I whirl around to see a chicken with deer legs charging me. This will look interesting on my mantle. It collapses after a single shot, but I empty another into its freakish head for good measure. As I walk towards my office to sit down, I trip, my legs numb, red and swollen from the knee down. The decapitated body of the chicken slowly trots towards me. I can't get up. Its chest heaves and tears open, and it births a twisted reflection of my face. It speaks with a mockery of my voice. For that, I'll make this experience as unpleasant as possible. Oh my gosh, guys. I just have no words. I just have no words. That was crazy, okay? This dude was crazy as hell. Hey friends, and welcome back to the Reddit Rainbow. Y'all ready for another spooky story? Well, let's go ahead and jump into this story called My Husband Surprised Me for Our Anniversary. Where are we going? I asked as my husband Jason pulled the car out of the driveway. We were heading out for the night to celebrate our anniversary. It's a surprise, he replied. I hope your surprise isn't that Italian restaurant downtown again, I said. We go there every year, so it's not really a surprise. It's not, he assured me. Can I have a hint? I asked. I didn't like surprises very much. Nope. He turned to me and smiled. You're just gonna have to trust me. Whatever it is, it better be good if you're getting lucky tonight. How much further is it? I asked. We'd been driving on the interstate for almost an hour. Oh, hell nah. We're almost there, he said, turning on the blinker to take the next exit. It doesn't look like there's anything out there, I said after looking around. All I could see were trees and hills. Trust me, Jason said. You're going to love it. I better, was my reply. I'm getting afraid. Why are you not afraid? Otherwise, you're sleeping on the couch tonight. You are being too nonchalant. 10 minutes later, he pulled off of the road and into a deserted rest area. Do you have to pee? I asked. No. He pulled into a parking spot and then turned off the car. This is our stop. A rest area? I'm confused too, friend. You know what I'm saying? Come on. He got out, walked to the back of the car, and motioned me to do the same. Y'all going to a car meet or something? Drift meet? And in the middle of the night? This better be a joke, I said as I got out and joined him. Are you ready for your surprise? He asked, holding up the key fob with the finger on the trunk button. I can't contain my excitement, I yawned. He pressed the button, releasing the latch. Surprise! He gestured at the contents inside the trunk. You've always said that Friday the 13th was your favorite movie, and since this is the first time that our anniversary has fallen on Friday the 13th, I thought it was time you got to live out one of your fantasies of being Pamela Voorhees. Excuse me? I'm not good at horror movies, but I know Voorhees is somebody's mom, I think, and I don't think that's a really good thing, okay? But anyway, inside the trunk were 2 sets of men's work clothing, 2 hockey masks, 2 pairs of boots, a machete, and an axe. There's a camp about a mile up the road. What do you say to that, Pam? I reached into the trunk and tested the weight of the axe. I say that this is the best anniversary present ever. Why do I keep not knowing where these things are going? Y'all are tripping me out with these stories, guys. I feel like some of that context might have been easier understood if I had seen all of the movies. Like, I'm a wuss, y'all. Y'all not gonna make me watch those scary movies now. But all right, guys, I can't wait to see your guys' thoughts. I just am having a great time. We're gonna watch Over the Garden Wall now. I hope y'all have a good day. I want to know what you're wearing for Halloween. What are your plans for Halloween? Are you gonna hand out candy, or are you just gonna leave the bowl, or are you going to a party? I want to hear it below. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. Love you guys. Mwah.